Hi there. I just wanted to take this opportunity to provide you with a short update on our remote learning provision as of February 2021. So I'm just going to talk through what has been put in place since the lockdown in January, and that really has come to fruition thanks to all the hard work that took place before Christmas. And I know I spoke to you at a previous parent council meeting about the planning and the work that was going on in the background to try and get to a position where we were able to provide quality learning for our young people if there was any disruption to learning, as obviously this lockdown has shown. So I'll just talk through some of the things that are in place, and at the end I'll talk briefly about our next steps in terms of how we continue to move forward. In terms of resource allocation or provision, we have now allocated 96 devices to families who require them. We have also issued 9 SIM cards which offer data, 30 days of 30 gigabyte data to families. We still have quite a lot of these available, so if you know of anyone that may benefit from this, please get in touch with me. There are also stationery packs available for collection at the main entrance of the school, but these can also be posted if families require them, and they contain the kind of basic stationery requirements that pupils may need at home. The ICT donation drive unfortunately had to be suspended. However, I may have a stock of about 40 or maximum 40 reconditioned HP laptops that I haven't seen them, but I believe they're very good quality. I would be very keen to be able to offer them out to someone or an organisation, and if you know of anyone or anywhere that may benefit from that, if you wouldn't mind getting in touch with me, that would be great. I have tried to contact some of the local charities in there, but without much success at the moment. In terms of our remote learning delivery, when we moved into this lockdown, we decided to basically mirror the school timetable, so we had a remote learning timetable that mirrored that. And that was really to try and maintain that structure for young people so that they maintain the sort of school day in terms of timings, getting up and stuff like that in the morning. Departments are offering a whole range of kind of delivery options, so from online support sessions, live lessons, check-in lessons, pre-recorded lessons. No one strategy fits all. Okay, so departments are using a blend of these that meet the needs of the young people, but also the needs of the kind of teacher in terms of their own home circumstances. Staff are continuously taking on feedback from pupils and adapting their processes, and I'll come to the quality assurance stuff in a minute, to try and meet the needs of those young people as best we can. Work has been posted on Teams, and then feedback has been provided in a cycle that best fits the department. So in some cases it may be weekly, in some cases it may be every few days. That all depends on the kind of contact time between the department and the pupils. What I would say, staff have worked incredibly hard since we returned in August to really upskill and train and become more confident in the use of all these online tools. These are not, this is not normal, as you're aware, and this is a challenging time for everyone. And staff have worked really hard to try and get in a position where they can offer quality learning for our young people. We currently have 24 staff undertaking the Microsoft Innovative Educator Programme, and being one of those, I would say is really valuable in terms of learning, in terms of the use of online, the online Microsoft packages for remote learning or blended learning. So really, really good that so many staff are kind of moving through that programme in terms of their training. Departments continue to also adopt a range of different softwares to help support learning, make it more engaging. So some of those include Kahoot, Sway, Forms, and these are literally just a few of many, many that have been used across the school to support young people's learning. In terms of tracking engagement, we're doing this weekly, so departments are sending me data every week for every young person and across every subject, and we are then collating that and sending it to the guidance and year ahead teams, and they will make contact with families where engagement has fallen or is low generally. Pupils are being tracked with a number system 1 to 4, so 1 would be excellent full engagement, so they're online, they're doing the work, they're engaging with the teacher. 4 would be there's no engagement at all, so they've not been online, they haven't completed the work. I did a short audit of this, or took a short snapshot of this, for the week beginning of the 8th, just to show you some of the figures. So pupils across the school with an engagement of an average of 1 across all departments had 34%, well, there were 34% of young people with that level of engagement, and a further 38% with a 2. So that shows nearly 3/4 of our school were either excellent or very good engagement in their online learning. Clearly the 28% who are not engaging particularly well would need further support, and I'll come to that later. The quality assurance process is something that is underway at the moment. So South Ayrshire have issued their guidance in relation to quality assurance. So we have asked departments to then follow through with that, and these are basically reflective questions asking departments to look at what is working and what maybe could be improved, and then this is due back to me at the end of the next week. What I'll be doing with that is I'll be pulling that together and doing 2 things. First of all, I'll be sharing the good practice across the other departments. So I know there are departments in the school where the provision of their remote teaching is excellent, and I want to be able to replicate that across the school as best we can. So I'll be sharing good practice with other departments, but also identifying departments who maybe need that extra support or advice or training, and we will be using this quality assurance process to do that. In terms of support and well-being, obviously we are all aware of how challenging these times are. The guidance, pupil support and year ahead team continue to contact families. We'll now be moving to a 2-week cycle of this, so every family should hear from one member of staff every 2 weeks. In some cases it may be more than that if need be. In some cases it may be longer than that if we're struggling to make contact, but generally we're aiming to speak to every family once every 2 weeks. But please be aware that the school is contactable at any time. If a family requires anything, then they know to contact us, and we'll get back to them as soon as possible. We've also increased our provision of supports for young people who may be struggling a little bit with the kind of challenges that this current lockdown is posing. So we have 2 fantastic mentors working with our young people from the ARC and AIR, and they are happy to take on more young people if required. We have our school counsellor Michelle, who's very good, and we also have additional counselling coming from an organisation called Headstrong. We have Claire, our school nurse, who continues to offer some excellent support and advice for young people. And then we've also issued a lot of kind of advice and documentation to families to support wellbeing generally. The most recent one being the Let's Talk Your Wellbeing document. All of these can be found on the school website. In terms of supporting families with the remote learning, so again, we've issued a lot of guides that are on the school website. So these are short guides just to show families how to do various things, like downloading activities on Teams, how to contact teachers, etc. The school website, the school YouTube channel also has these guides have been digitised, so short videos to show using a computer screen how to do various things using Teams. So that's hopefully to help. Well, that will help parents and young people in terms of working with Teams at home. One of our dedicated COVID recovery teachers, Miss Girvin, is always on hand to answer any IT questions or queries, and these can be submitted through a Microsoft form, or just contact a member of staff in the school, guidance or year ahead, and they will pass it on to Miss Girvin. So there is a lot of support there for families in terms of how to access the work and how to seek support if they need it. Parental feedback has generally been very good. We thank parents for this. We thank parents and carers for working with us during what is obviously their challenging time. Obviously we're not getting it right every time, and we are trying to work with parents and departments where things maybe haven't gone as smoothly as we would have wanted. A recent South Ayrshire survey resulted in 206 of our parents completing the survey, so that's about a third of our cohort, which is really good return, and I'll just talk through some of those kind of main messages that came from that. So parents were asked if they were happy with the range of learning activities. 60% strongly agreed, with a further 23% neither agreeing nor disagreeing. So that's a strong return. what I did from that is I wanted to pick out some data just to show what we're using in terms of a range of activities. So I took 1 week as an audit period, and we in that week did 257 online sessions, 131 live lessons. Teachers were providing feedback via email throughout the week, and in fact some were working way into late evening doing that, responding to emails. More and more departments are now engaging with pre-recorded lessons, and we also provide information on the national offering with regards to BBC Bitesize, the e-learning from Western Isles provision and Scholar. So there's a wide range of provision there for families and young people to engage in. The parents were also asked if they found there was enough support for their child's learning. So strong response again, 66% strongly or agreeing, with a further 18% neither agreeing or disagreeing. So what I would say is departments are working very hard to provide quality feedback and to support young people with their learning. We're continuing to try and develop strategies, help guides and videos to help support families with this. We're tracking engagement weekly, as I've said, and contact is being made with parents where we feel more support is needed. And we have, as I've just said, a lot of supports in place through counselling services, etc., for young people who may need it. In terms of parents or carers being able to support their child's learning at home, 54% agreed or strongly agreed, and 18% neither agreed or disagreed. So slightly less strong in terms of its response. We do acknowledge that these are very challenging times, and we're trying to support those parents where they're struggling to kind of support their child with home learning. And we're going to start offering more live video sessions where parents can tune in and ask myself, some of the other COVID recovery teachers, questions about how they can do things and what they can do to better support their child, and these will be starting very soon. The final question of the survey was whether overall parents' carers were happy with the provision offered by the school. So 65% of our parents agreed, or those that completed the survey agreed or strongly agreed. So we're happy with that. We thank parents again for their support. Parents were asked to leave a comment if they wished, and I've kind of pulled the main comments that came from that just to let you know what we're planning on doing moving forward based on those comments. So there was a lot of people asking about more live and pre-recorded lessons. I have to say live lessons are not the be all and end all, and I'm saying that firsthand as a geography teacher as well. We feel pre-recorded in geography lessons are far better, so that pupils can go back and review these at any point that suits them. Staff are trying to find methods to deliver the best quality learning for their young people, so we will continue to work with departments to move forward with a strategy that best suits their department and young people. Teachers not online when they said they should be or would be, that has been very rare. That's happened on a few occasions. It's been a very last minute change due to family circumstances, and it has always been communicated via the Teams page, so that's not a common occurrence. Teams glitches, I'm afraid. Teams is not a QMA system, it's a nationwide system through Glow. We communicate any issues with the central team so that they can pass that on to Education Scotland, but unfortunately challenges with the system itself are quite out with our control. A few parents asked about making the teams names more consistent. I would say that's probably a fair point, and we will be asking departments to standardise the names of the teams so that it's easier for pupils to navigate through the different teams pages. Some parents obviously were struggling to support their child with home learning, so like I said, we're going to start offering live sessions for those parents to help support their child. And daily check-ins were asked for. It's just not possible for us to do a daily check-in for 600 plus pupils, so we are working through our lists, as I said, once every 2 weeks, but really looking at kind of universal support. All staff are trained in this, and they would be able to identify any issues and pass it on to the relevant person. I'll just finish with this very quickly. Moving forward, we're going to continue training for staff. We're going to continue using the QA process to help identify and share good practice. Continue to support families through the Skype sessions which I referred to earlier. and as we move back to bringing pupils back to school, we'll continue to support them with this lost learning. Contact me if